Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and today I'm going to be reacting to a pretty interesting video. This was posted on the PokeMMO forums, and this is a semi-new player to the game giving a really passionate rant about their immediate thoughts, like pretty early on thoughts about PokeMMO, and I think it's just really interesting, like, how much this guy nails it. I've only seen the first 3 minutes or so of this, but he really nails it. He's really clearly and well-spoken, and I really appreciated his feedback, so I'm going to go ahead and just play it. We'll start off, and I'll pause when I have anything to say. This is a new player's reaction and their understanding of just PokeMMO.
So, Pokemon's like without a doubt one of the most important gaming franchises in existence, right? Pokemon Red and Blue and then like Green, fucking Japan or whatever. They came.
Here, I'm gonna put the first little couple minutes on 2 times speed, since most of what he says, or 1.5 times speed, most of what he says is pretty understood, but it's not wrong. But then it's an important preface to what he's about to get to.
What, 1996 for the Game Boy, and that was a fucking pocket-sized like calculator essentially. Like this shit, like they just wanted like to run Tetris on the motherfucker. Like they weren't even looking to run like Mario on there. And then Game Freak just like, yeah, let's put a whole fucking RPG on there. But not just an RPG. Let's put like all these features in there that are so ambitious. We don't have the fucking technology for it. You know what I mean? Like all the online multiplayer shit, like the trading cable or the link cable. That shit wasn't even around like when they made the game. They just like hoped they would make it. But it was all because they had like this vision for a game that was essentially.
And look at him correcting like a misspeak on his part with text. I don't even do that. What a high quality creator.
A massively multiplayer online game. And like, okay, so like when I say Pokemon's like ahead of its time, I don't mean it was just like a good game for 1996. It was a game that was like, it belonged in a different era, essentially.
I really like this distinction that he makes. Not only was it ahead of its time, it belonged in a different era, and he's about to talk about how it continued like throughout many multiple eras, and how like the formula didn't change because they were so spot on the first execution of this formula that it just was able to follow, and it still was fun and enjoyable and good to play. We'll keep listening.
Actually, it's like it follows it across like all the titles, all the way to like the 3DS ones. Where, like it's just the same formula over and over. Like they can't get away from the same formula because they did it once and they just fucking nailed it. Like they were so far ahead back then that even then like people get mad at them for like remaking the same game, but like they're remaking the same game, but it's modern. Like it's if they never made like Pokemon Red and Blue, it would just be considered a modern game. Like the features they have are very modern. I don't know, man. That link cable shit. That's like what blows my mind because they really expect people to get like two systems, 2 copies of the game, and then just like meet up at recess with a fucking link cable that they got for like what $100, and then just like trade over a shitty fucking like Charmander and then go home. And like that was the extent of like their trading for Pokemon or whatever. And now we have like PokeMMO, which is fucking like, okay, I think the PokeMMO dev team has like realized what Game Freak has wanted to do, only they actually like executed it, and they did like a fantastic fucking job.
Based in true and real.
Like, yeah, shut up. Okay. No. All of this shit. This is insane. Like and I want to stress this so bad. This is not like trading items. This is not like the Grand Exchange in fucking old school RuneScape. This is not like the auction house in World of Warcraft. This is like each one of these is a story. It's an experience. It's a personal moment for a lot of people, honestly.
I really like that he brings this up. This is a really like wholesome, passionate thing that I don't think many people talk about enough. With Pokemon in general, it's so much more difficult to create an economy system similar to RuneScape and World of Warcraft, like he mentions, because those items in World of Warcraft, a rune skimmy, you don't see where it was achieved, you don't see who it was bought by, you don't see when it was bought, you don't see how many goblins has that rune skimmy killed, you know, etc., etc. In PokeMMO, you see caught date, you see IVs, you see the EVs on it, which means like what Pokemon the person killed. Maybe you can see if it spreads, you know, out IVs all over the place. You can see, oh, they went through the storyline with it. You can see if it's EV trained, like, oh, this person went through with a really designated idea. It is so crazy how much information you can get out of just seeing what kind of stats and what happened with a Pokemon. It's super interesting, and it creates for a really unique and much more intimate experience, honestly, with Pokemon, and it creates for much more community. Pokemon kind of ends up being a perfect community game, partially because of this, because of all these super unique, passionate experiences that everyone has felt. Everyone has felt the feeling of catching a Growlithe and leveling it up into an Arcanine and becoming attached to that Pokemon with those EVs specifically and all that stuff and all that jazz and taking him to the Elite Four and everything. It's a very like relatable experience.
I mean, you click on one of these guys and you can see Meta level 20 in Mirage Tower on this date at this exact time. Like spicy foods, just like sweet food, strong willed. Like,
now, I haven't seen anything past this, so this is all new to me.
I mean, those last couple things, who cares? But like this thing right here, it's like it shows like that original person that found this one guy in the wild. That's like how it all started. And if you go on old school RuneScape and you type in rope on Grand Exchange, like it doesn't tell you where the fuck the rope came from. Like it's a fucking rope. But
I actually had no idea he would mention that exact point, so sorry to repeat him. But yeah, we're on the same thought process.
these, I mean, trading Pokemon is like such a more unique economy. It creates such a unique and fascinating economy, honestly. Like all the shiny hunting people, like the odds of finding a shiny are so low. You can play through the main game like what 10 times and never see one. Like why the fuck was it even in there then? It was a Game Boy game. Like when you look back on it, like none of it makes sense unless you frame it into the context of an MMO. And I'm extremely happy that Game Freak did not make this an MMO because they would have fucking ruined it.
True.
PokeMMO devs, they don't have to worry about marketing or, you know, like you can't go to fucking Walmart or Target and buy the PokeMMO Deluxe Edition for a free Gengar. You know what I mean? You can't fucking do it. And if Game Freak did it, you 100% would be able to.
I don't think about that enough. How terrible would that? I've literally never thought about that. Like how like tie-ins, like free shinies. You know that if Game Freak or something else owned this, we would have had free shinies given away a long time ago with purchases or microtransactions or something of the sort. It would have been atrocious.
And that would diminish this thing, like where it's like almost like a personal connection between everything. It's a very genuine, like there's like soul in it, I guess. And it even goes back to like how serious they are about fucking real world yeah, how serious they are about that. How serious they are about like real world trading. God, I can't fucking talk. Like they'll ban your account and like immediately. If you have a fucking Python interpreter open on your computer, a VM open on your computer, they'll ban you immediately because they didn't want to take the risk of you fucking with that principle that they have in place.
It's integrity. A lot of people see rules like that and see that a lot of people think the PokeMMO devs are just hard asses or huge, you know, just assholes in general, or like really crude or mean or harsh. It's integrity. They're really trying to protect this game. I feel like they really care about this project, and sometimes it can be demotivating for them probably with how the players react to that stuff sometimes, but in reality, they're really trying to protect the thing they care about. Now, they're obviously trying to maintain their jobs and make their money, right? Like, and make their paycheck. But at the same time, they really do care about this project. And I think they really are. It's all about integrity. I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but it's all about integrity. And that's what maintains a healthy game and a meaningful game.
I mean, it's fucking beautiful. It's amazing. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh god, I can't even talk. I just talked for so long, I lost my voice. I don't know, man. I just think this is like one of the best MMOs ever made, and I don't know why more people aren't playing it.
This is such a nice compliment. And like, this is from someone who like, maybe he has an alt account. Maybe I'm just super unaware of this guy, but this is seemingly from someone who is like very new to this game. He has a Charmeleon, so he's probably around like third or fourth gym badge, Butterfree, Pikachu, like very staple beginner Kanto team. And this guy is nailing every point. And it's just really cool to hear. And he's going to say like, I'm surprised more people aren't playing this game. I always say PokeMMO is the best Pokemon game you've never heard of. And it's also said that the PokeMMO player base is pretty large. And I think it's larger than a lot of people realize due to a lot of factors. I've talked about this before. MMO stats is really the only thing we have to judge how big the game is. But at the same time, MMO stats only covers social media. And the social media, like, outlets and expression are pretty low for PokeMMO, pretty extremely low. And they also don't track things like Bilibili, which is essentially YouTube in Japan, or YouTube in China, excuse me. And when you don't track those like international sites or those international social medias, you're missing so much of the player base for Pokemon. So much of the player base is international, so it's way harder to track those numbers and get an idea of how many people are playing this game.
Because like you play like old school RuneScape and shit, and like even like World of Warcraft, and they have like the Dungeon Finder. It's like they're making a world and then they're adding in features to make it an MMO afterwards. This game, since the Game Boy era, was crafted to be an MMO. Only in the sense,
I think this is such a unique take, and I think I really agree with it. This is such a great verbalization of this.
of like there's no activities where like yeah you can't fight gyms like with your friends or whatever, but that's not supposed to happen. What it's supposed to be like, you're all on the same journey. You know, look at all these people that are around me right now. It's gonna be fucking empty watch. Fucking all these people right here. It was empty. It's so fucking embarrassing. These people, they're all doing the storyline right now. They're all like, they all have their own little progress that they're doing. All these people are coming out of the gym. They just got done fighting it. Like, they're on their own adventure that I'm also on. And while I may not be directly involved in it, I can still appreciate that they're on that journey.
It's so sweet. This whole video is just really wholesome and really positive and really sweet, while still being like, I feel like critical, and I feel like really analyzing things in a pretty good way. And I just love this guy. Is super well spoken. This guy kills it. And maybe I'm just sucking up to him because I obviously just agree with everything he's saying. Like there's that aspect where maybe I'm just turbo fucking biased here. And I definitely am to some extent. I'm just happy to see someone enjoying the game though. It's really nice to see new players just love this game and see what makes it such a great game.
The same way in real life, when, you know, I walk past 100 people a day, I can recognize that they're all Also, they're also on their path of like life. Like, you know what I mean? I know that makes like that sounds.
What a wholesome analogy. No, it's pretty, it's kind of, extreme, but it's true. Like, you're walking past people in your daily life is similar to walking past people at an MMO or people in PokeMMO. It's meant to be a virtual life, a virtual experience. That's a really good sign if you feel that way.
Sounds stupid, but like life itself is just kind of like that. I don't know, man. I feel like this is the shit you talk about if you just like smoke a fat blunt. Like, man, life's just like an MMO. No, I hope you know what I mean. It's like I feel like life itself is just like it's like we're all on that path, and while we're not directly.
I always say that sports were esports were really just the sports before normal sports, right? So obviously, real world sports copied esports, and vice versa. Life clearly copies MMOs.
Involved in each one's journey, we can still acknowledge that, like, we're all part of the same thing essentially. I'm really glad that PokeMMO has actually captured that, because I think it's what an MMORPG like actually should be. It's one of the most authentic experiences I've ever had personally. I just played for like a fucking week. I mean,
okay, he does say he's been playing for a week. Okay, that's good to clarify. That's awesome.
If you haven't experienced it, it's never too late. Yeah, man, I don't fucking know. Anyway, release Johto.
And then he ends it off with a quick little release Johto. This is a great video, great commentary, great explanations. It was just super well spoken. Good little jokes and jabs in there. Just a huge shout out to this guy. He really killed it. Make sure to check him out. It'll be linked in the description down below, as well as the forum post. And thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you're enjoying PokeMMO. Hopefully you agree with this guy's points. I do think there is more to it. Like, once you get to endgame of PokeMMO, you do kind of realize, I think endgame is great. I love the endgame. I think the endgame of PokeMMO is the game. But there is a fair argument for a lot of people saying, like, oh, once you get to endgame, people kind of get bored. And it's because certain people just don't enjoy creating their own creative goals as much, which I super understand. Nothing wrong with that. And there should be some more late game or end game PVM and content like that. I think that'll come. Don't worry. I think that will get fixed. There are ways to fix the game. It's not perfect. PokeMMO isn't a perfect game, but it's probably one of the closest to perfect games that exist, in my opinion, and for my many years of playing video games. But that's it. That's just me. That's my thoughts. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow the Twitch links down below for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you care about that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Prime, Twitch subs, PayPal, and Venmo do help out a ton. That's it for me. Make sure to go check this guy out. Check out other smaller PokeMMO content creators. They're doing a killer job. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace, guys.